Welcome to Living Our Faith with Archbishop Jerome Listecki. The latest news, important issues, and stories of Catholics living their faith in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. Here's co-host Bob Bennis.
Good morning and welcome. So glad you could be with us here today as we talk evangelization and technology. Before we meet our guests, let's say hello to our shepherd, the host of Living Our Faith, Archbishop Jerome Listecki. Good morning,
Bob.
Your Excellency.
Good.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Are you a gadget guy? Do you do the phone with the apps and the gadgets?
Everybody gives me gadgets, but I'm not a gadget guy. Mm-hmm. So, I usually have to depend upon someone like Nisa, who is our production person here, or Father Jim Lobatz, who is basically my secretary. They're always the ones kind of grabbing my iPad or my iPhone and or the computer and basically reconfiguring it for me. Said, "Oh my gosh, you got," my sister always claims that when the American Pickers will come through, she's going to offer my room as a way for the American Pickers to go through my room. She's convinced they'll find an 8-track in there. Way
to go, Penny. Well, when you talk about technology and then you talk about using technology to evangelize, we've got some real enjoyable, interesting, exciting, whatever euphemism you want to use, elements here today with our guests. And if you would, go ahead and introduce, please.
Sure. Our first guest is Mike Stark, and Mike will be on the line with us. And his series is really kind of a beautiful series. He's part of Truth and Life Audio Bible, and that he did a wonderful thing. Welcome, Mike. This is my fellow Chicago archdiocesan. Mike, how are you? Welcome.
Thanks for having me. You're a fellow Cub and Bear fan as well, I understand?
No, a fellow White Sox and Bear fan. So you make sure you emphasize that.
Should be a Brewers fan up there.
Oh, I like the Brewers. I do. I love the Brewers. They play the Cubs, so I love the Brewers.
With us here in the studio, who we will talk to in just a little while, is Mike Stone. Mike is from Liturgical Publications, which is a company that's all across the United States, but they are based here in the Milwaukee area.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about your production. What gave you the idea to use technology, and why you incorporated it into evangelization, and maybe any kind of wonderful evangelization stories that you might have encountered in the last couple of years.
I can answer all those questions. We started out with an audio Bible, just the CDs, 5 years ago, and so we came out with the CDs, and we had those produced 22 hours on 18 CDs, and it was well received by people. And what we did is we made an audio New Testament. Kristen Bell from Frozen, and Blair Underwood, and Michael York, and Malcolm McDowell, and Neil McDonough does an awesome job of playing Jesus. So we came out with that, and then the technology came in. We've added all kinds of additional content that's just a click away. So when you download the app, you have the ability to go to the Bible, listen to it. The Ignatius Study Bible's in there. Then you've got the ability to search a book, chapter, and verse in seconds. All this is just like a Catholic toolbox, which really gives you everything you need, and for the most part, it is free.
That's a key word there, free. How would somebody be able to access that?
It's very simple. Obviously, they could search the word Truth and Life Bible, but we've made it even easier because some people don't know if it's and life or life or whatever. So we've come up with a website we've been using the last several years, which is downloadjesus.com. So it's www.downloadjesus.com. I need to say that because some people just put in the name Jesus, and then there's a million listings. So you have to type in the word download as well, and that will get you to it instantly. You can access whatever you want and try it out. We're working on doing something in Spanish as well, so there's a little bit of that in there as well. It works for Apple and Android. It works on several tablets. It's accessible to everything, really.
And what I like about it, and correct me if this is not part of the free version because I also upgraded, what I like is that you can read different chapters and verses of the Bible, but then if you want, you can also listen to those, the audio version of it too, at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the free version gives you Mark for free, so you have 2 hours to listen to. And then there's 20 more hours, and we've spent a lot of money to make this, and we'd like to do more with this ministry. The free version includes 2 hours in Mark's Gospel as well as the Ignatius Study Bible content in there. And you're right, you press play, and it highlights what's being played, verse by verse.
Mike, how do you measure the success of your Bible apps, or basically the CDs that you've developed? If people written back to you, do you get an excitement when suddenly they encounter and they listen to it?
Well, it's just people like you. I mean, you're such a gracious, wonderful man, and getting letters from somebody like you or a pat on the back.
Have to have Mike back now.
When it first came out, Cardinal George wrote a letter to every member of the USCCB, and I got several letters, and that really made it worthwhile for me, because it hasn't been fun financially. It really has been some people say it's like cross, or it's like Job. It hasn't been well received, and unfortunately, Catholics need to know the Bible better. And I think we're starting to get that with the likes of Father Barron and Jeff Cavins and Scott Hahn and Matthew Kelly going out and spreading the word. But we're slow to adapt to it, and we need to know the Bible because we wrote it. And so for me, sometimes it's just a simple thing like a gentleman came up to me at the Institute on Religious Life conference last year and said he had been listening to this and he was considering the priesthood because he heard it. And I'll tell you something that I say quite often when I'm out speaking to different people. There was Archbishop Listecki up in Milwaukee who once said, it's like you followed Jesus and the apostles around with a boom mic. It puts you in the mood like you're walking with the apostles. And you said that when I did the show 4 years ago. And I think that captures the exact element of what we're trying to accomplish here is putting people in lockstep with Jesus and the apostles. And if they're there with him, they experience it. And this gentleman said, I feel I know the man because I've heard his voice. And now he's considering the priesthood when he said he was a disconnected Catholic.
That's great. That's great testimony right there, Mike. That really
better.
Is. No,
nothing better. No amount of money can buy that. If we converted a guy who said he was a fallen away Catholic to somebody who's considering the priesthood, that's the mission here.
But just a little corrective on that one. We didn't author the Bible; God did. So I just just want to make sure we get proper authorship.
Right.
Okay,
you're going to get technical, and
that's right.
I'm just saying it was produced by Catholic monks.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, we'll take that one.
Okay, well, we didn't write it, but but the people that actually decided to take action on it were Catholic monks.
And there's a week in the Bible coming up, isn't there?
Yeah, the USCCB is announcing that, or has announced that November 15th through the 21st is going to be National Bible Week in honor of the 50th year since Vatican II, and they're going to try and make it a bigger deal every year from now on. But they're going to try and push it out a little bit more and get us more connected with the Bible. So November 15th through the 21st, hopefully all the dioceses will let their parishes know that this is a good time to promote it, proclaim it. I certainly would be happy if people said, "Hey, there's a free Catholic Bible app that has an imprimatur and a foreword by Pope Benedict on it as well that you could download." But that, again, is up to the individual pastors because they do what they do. But I certainly I would encourage everyone to share this that's listening with their pastors, with their kids, and get to know the Bible better. Even if it's just one of the buttons on our app is the daily Mass readings. You click on that and spend a couple of minutes and you see what the first reading, the Psalm, and the Gospel reading is every day. And that's if you don't have any time, you have that time. It's nothing, and everyone says they're too busy, but honestly, this is something you can listen to in the car, but if nothing else, you can just click on that and listen to the Gospel reading while you're brushing your teeth or getting your coffee in the morning, or hopefully sitting down at the table with your kids.
And Mike, in listening to you, and I also know from meeting you and seeing you at multiple events that you're very, very passionate about this. What new projects are you working on? What new projects have you put into the app?
Well, as a matter of fact, we just added on Friday and that would be, we're in September now. We just added the Steubenville Conference button, and I was at the Cousins Center last year for the Steubenville Conference, and I was just amazed at the vibrance, the energy that was in the room of all the people attending that. And got to know the Steubenville people very well. They knew our app, and people are a little timid in coming up to me and saying, "Hey, we want to do this with you." They asked me, they said, "Would you mind if we, interacted with you?" I said, "You're asking me if you can add your content to my app? I should pay you for that." I mean, it's an honor to have, that part of our app. So now you can actually go to a button as of today and access their talks and their website and all their content. What we're trying to do is make this as large a toolbox as possible so people can get their answers, starting with the Bible and the Daily Gospel, and adding on content that relates, like Jeff Cavins and Father Barron and Father McElhone explaining what the Bible is, what Catholicism is, what our faith is, and there's even a button for Catholic News Agency so you can be up to date on what's going on with the Pope or with the Church. Really, I'm not veering from the program. The program is to get the word out about the Bible, and that's never going to change for me. Like I said, if we add some things that make sense, we've created the apps for EWTN and, of course, Ignatius Lighthouse. So those are apps that are out there, and the Ignatius Study Bible being in there. But when somebody comes to us with an offer like that, we're gonna take it seriously and try and get it in the app as soon as we can.
Mike, that is outstanding. One last plug, downloadjesus.com. Mike Stark from the Truth and Life Dramatized Audio Bible. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as we go to break, we want to give you a reminder that coming up, we've got the news from our friends at the Catholic Herald. You're listening to Living Our Faith here on Relevant Radio for Southeast Wisconsin. We'll be right back with Mike Stone here in the studio. This is Bob Bennis of Relevant Radio, and I want to tell you about a Catholic-owned, Catholic-proud car dealership. That dealership is Uptown Motors. My wife loves her 2015 Ford Fusion, and a fellow parishioner loves his 2015 Ford Fusion. Our parish, St. Agnes and Butler, loves the donations they receive from Uptown Motors. Here's Uptown Sales Manager Jeff Sardina.
Our faith teaches us to give back to our community and to others. At Uptown Motors, we've always believed in this. Stop in at one of our 3 dealerships and purchase a new or used car, and we'll donate $200 to the parish of your choice. This is not a sales promotion or a limited time offer. This is who we are. Visit Uptown Ford Lincoln on Mayfair Road in Milwaukee, or Uptown Chevy Dodge Chrysler Jeep on Highway 60 in Slinger, and remember to say you heard this ad on Relevant Radio.
Uptown Motors, a family business from generation to generation, Catholic owned and Catholic proud.
Good morning, this is Grace David, just dropping in with a quick reminder as you prepare for Christmas shopping. Remember, the Catholic Herald makes a great gift for everyone on your list, including Catholics who no longer attend Mass. Give your friends, children, grandchildren a gift of faith. Give them a Catholic Herald subscription. Call 414-769-3500. That's 414-769-3500 to order the Catholic Herald, a gift of faith. I'm Grace David, sending you back to Living Our Faith with Archbishop Listecki.
Welcome back to Living Our Faith. We are talking now in studio with the General Manager for Online Services over at Liturgical Publications. He is Mike Stone. Mike Stone, an official. Welcome to the show. You've been here for the whole show, but now we want to get into a little bit more about what you do and some of the products that apply to that evangelization through technology. But tell us a little bit about your faith story, your journey.
Well, it's great to be here, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, I converted to Catholicism. I want to say it was 1997, I think it was. And I was born. The family was Jewish, and my parents divorced when I was about 10. And at that point, really didn't have any religious upbringing at all. Went to college and met my now wife, and she was a cradle Catholic. And as our relationship deepened and it became apparent we were going to get married, I started to attend Mass with her and her family, especially when I was spending more time with her family, and never really understood the Mass and went because I felt I had to. And then we got married in a Catholic church in Two Rivers, where she's from. And again, she would, after we got married, she was at Mass most every week, and I wasn't. It was, they had other things to do, let's say. The birth of our first son in 1991, and baptism and all of that, still not really participating. We moved up to Germantown, where we live now, in the fall of 91, and she spent about 6 months looking for a parish, and she came to our current parish, St. Boniface, and I started to attend a few masses with her and more of the social events, and just got sucked in, quite frankly, and then all of a sudden felt the calling and converted in 1997.
And for that long of time, my assessment would be that she didn't badger you. She just said, well, probably you don't know what you're missing, and I wish you would come, but you didn't.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, that's true. She never really pressured. There was no pressure, but I really felt a calling, and I'll never forget. It was at our fall festival, the very first time. We have a Labor Day festival every year, and Father Bernie Sipple was the pastor at the time. And one day I was there enjoying an adult beverage, and he tapped me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I need somebody to cook some burgers. Can you do that for me?" I said, "Sure. What the heck?" And that started the whole journey, really.
Yeah. It's wonderful. There probably has been knocking for a long time in your life, and it's only when suddenly you catch it, you basically catch the call, that you look back, that things that people said to you at certain times, the invitations and stuff, they're always kind of the movement of the Holy Spirit through the lives of others, kind of calling us. So you have a great an ability to associate with those people who are kind of discerning, kind of coming
Absolutely.
into the faith, which is great. Tell us a little bit how you got involved in technology, and specifically how technology serves basically the parishes.
Sure. Well, the early part of my career, I spent about 20 years in the staffing and consulting industry, sales, recruiting, management, and joined Liturgical Publications. It's now been about 5 or 6 years, and it really was a marriage between two passions of mine. Certainly the work that I do with my church and my own parish, as well as then the technology. So it was an opportunity to marry those two, and I found it to be a great opportunity. We have, Liturgical Publications, as many probably of your listeners probably don't know, is we most likely publish your church's bulletin. We print bulletins for about 4,500 churches across the country, and have been doing that for 44 years. And the extension of technology through that is really how we got started. So it started with a mechanism to deliver the bulletin online, and it's just evolved with church websites. And the latest adventure is our Vibrant Parish app, which we're working with many parishes to deliver.
What is a Vibrant Parish app? What is that?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, the idea behind the Vibrant Parish app is an opportunity for a parish to help engage its members with a deeper appreciation at the time when the parishioner needs it, on a device that the parishioner holds very very close to them, their mobile device, whether it's their phone or their iPad, etc. So oftentimes, you go through your life and things happen, as we talked about. Maybe I need a little prayer. I need a little help with something, a little quiet time. Well, you have your app from your home parish, and on that app might be 150 different prayers for whatever you need. It also has opportunities for the parish events. If I'm a busy parent, I've got kids in religious ed and athletics and all of these types of activities, and we know in the wintertime, weather plays havoc on our schedules.
Sure.
If I've got basketball practice at 5:30 for one of them, and 6 o'clock is the religious ed classes for the other, and weather is causing a problem or relocation or difference in time, the ability for the church to send out a notification on my phone to me that says, hey, religious ed's been moved back a half an hour due to weather or whatever the case may be, or things have been canceled. Those are the kinds of messages that the church can deliver to that parishioner.
Is it a general app that then you can, as a user, you drill down to a specific parish, or is it actually a specific parish app?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that's one of the big differences between our apps and other parish apps that are available. Our app is really intended to be an app for the church. When you go to the App Store, you're going to look for your church's name. They don't care about liturgical publications. They want a relationship with their parish. So downloading their parish app, that parish app is going to have customizations, the icons and the images and the photos of things that are specific, that they're going to be familiar. And then within the app, there's certainly some generic content that is available. It really depends on what the church is, what the parish is interested in, and then a lot of parish-specific information that's interesting for the member.
And I would imagine that if they're proactive enough, the pastor could record the homilies and post the homilies at the app for people to go back and listen. Is that happening?
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of video and audio recordings.
Sure.
And I think it's, this is a good time to talk a little bit about, because all parishes now have a website, and then you might couple that with this app, and they're really two different purposes if you think about the core purpose of the parish website, because a lot of parishes do post the videos or the audios of homilies, etc. And really the true purpose of the parish's website is a marketing tool. It's designed to help attract that family who's maybe moved into the community looking for a place to come to Mass. So it's important that the website gear itself to things that are important for that new family. The app is really an engagement tool. A new family moving into the community isn't going to go to the App Store and download the app. It's really meant for that person who's already a member of that parish, and to help them increase their relationship with that parish.
A way of staying more actively engaged.
You bet. You bet.
What effects have you found? What feedback have you been received from various parishes?
We've gotten a lot of great feedback. There's a lot of, the biggest benefit they see is having that relationship with the parishioner. When you walk into a restaurant now, mom and dad and two kids, and everybody is looking at their phone, and there's very little conversation, unfortunately. But the reality is that the parishes know that their parishioners are on the phones and on their mobile devices, so they're looking for ways to cut through the clutter. And I don't know about you, but for example, my email, I flagged 150 emails that I'm supposed to do something with, and that's over time. Email, everything gets lost in the clutter of email. I get so many messages, and an interesting statistic that I read not long ago said that a push notification through your phone, which is what our app does, has a 97% read rate within 30 seconds of it being delivered, whereas an email has a 30% read rate within 72 hours. So if you're trying to get your message to an individual, you can't beat the opportunities that the push notifications through an app like ours will provide.
Does the app include a social networking element to it? As a parent, if I want to, through the app, reach out to a fellow parent about an event that's coming up or something with the kids, is that there?
Absolutely. You can promote things to Facebook or to Twitter and those types of things. Hey, I'm at the parish festival, or I'm going to Mass at 9 o'clock. You can also take that information and promote it to your friends and through your network.
And if I want to give us a quick walkthrough on the steps for someone listening who says, I like this, I want to find out if my parish has it. What do we do? Where do we go?
Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is contact your parish, because our relationship, because it's a parish app, the first thing is having the parish identify that they want this app. Once the parish says I want it, then it's very simple. Once the parish has the app, you can go to the store of your. If you have an iPhone, you go to your iStore, or if you have Google, you go to Play. You would search for your church's name, and you'll find your app. It's a very simple download right onto your phone.
Mike, what's the when you get any kind of new basically technology, you buy it or you use it, and within a year and a half, it's obsolete. What's the advantage of having this app for a parish, and is it quickly going to become obsolete? And what are you seeing as maybe the next level? Well,
they're so new, it's really hard to know what the life cycle is going to be. What I can tell you is that for at least the foreseeable future, this looks like it is the future. Email communication I would call maybe the current, and that I think is quickly, as we talked about, coming to at least a productive end. This will be the next step. Whatever comes next, I think those technology geniuses probably out in California will lead us to that. But from our standpoint, the phone, the mobile device, really is the key. Everybody has one now. Everybody's interested in using it more. You very rarely see people that are buying desktops, even laptop computers. It's all mobile devices now. And now with the things like the watches that people have and, the Google glasses or any of that kind of stuff, who knows where that's going to lead us?
Well, maybe a virtual parish. Huh?
There you go.
We'll all be members of virtual parish.
If I'm listening in the audience now and I'm a parishioner in a small parish or I'm a parishioner in a large parish, is it right for both large and small?
I think so, yeah. The larger parish you would think is going to have more opportunities for ministries and such and more groups and things like that. But the small parishes, they still have ministries and groups and things that I want to be associated with. They all rely on volunteers and participants to make them go. So I think all of them are going to have a need for that on-the-go communication to make sure that wherever I am, when I'm traveling or what have you, that I have the opportunity to plug in and make sure that my whatever I need is available to me.
And for those that are listening today, can you give us the directions for them on how to learn more?
Well, you could, I think the first step would be to for the parishes. Certainly on the Liturgical Publications website, there's all sorts of information for the parish, and that's www.4lpi.com. That's our website, and under online services, you'll see areas on our app as well as other products that we have, websites, online giving, etc. Once the parish decides to have our app, we work hard to produce information material so that the parish can make their parishioners aware that they have this. Posters, flyers, bulletin announcements, all sorts of things to encourage members to download the app once their parish has it.
There's a saying that the cobbler's kids go without shoes. You're a member of St. Boniface in Germantown. I'm going to ask you as Archbishop, how are they doing with their technology and their app?
Every day is a learning opportunity, of course, and we're talking about it. We're heading into our fall campaign like most churches are, and we're looking at ways to increase engagement. I happen to be the chair of our stewardship commission, and looking at opportunities for us to engage better and more. And this app, I think, will certainly be a part of that.
Terrific.
Mike, we'll have to have you back. It's been an enjoyable conversation. Again, to learn more, go to 4lpi.com. We're going to take our final break, and as we go to our final break, we remind you that this show will repeat again on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9:30, and everything you need to know about the Archdiocese is located at archmill.org, or you can check things out on Facebook. Thanks for joining us here on Relevant Radio for Southeast Wisconsin. This is Bob Bennis of Relevant Radio, and I want to tell you about a Catholic-owned, Catholic-proud car dealership. That dealership is Uptown Motors. My wife loves her 2015 Ford Fusion, and a fellow parishioner loves his 2015 Ford Fusion. Our parish, St. Agnes and Butler, loves the donations they receive from Uptown Motors. Here's Uptown Sales Manager Jeff Sardina.
Our faith teaches us to give back to our community and to others. At Uptown Motors, we've always believed in this. Stop in at one of our 3 dealerships and purchase a new or used car, and we'll donate $200 to the parish of your choice. This is not a sales promotion or a limited time offer. This is who we are. Visit Uptown Ford Lincoln on Mayfair Road in Milwaukee, or Uptown Chevy Dodge Chrysler Jeep on Highway 60 in Slinger, and remember to say you heard this ad on Relevant Radio.
Uptown Motors, a family business from generation to generation, Catholic-owned and Catholic-proud. We've come to the end of another edition of Living Our Faith, and as always, we close in prayer.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and never shall be, world without end. Amen. Mary, Mother of the Church, pray for us. And may God's blessings be upon you all, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember to see with God's eyes.
This has been Living Our Faith with Archbishop Jerome Listecki and co-host Bob Bennis. Join us again next week for the latest news, important issues, and stories of Catholics living their faith in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee.